I came into the house in 1999 first, so I actually know what it was. But before this transformation that is currently going on at the moment, there have been some development which I can tell you that they were not properly in shape. And that was the state. Most of this, the offices, the office of the speaker particularly, was nothing to write home about. It's just like any of the Nigerian public offices which you can find around. And even the members' offices, those were the same situation. And the entire premises, of course, it's not what you are seeing now. The pavement, all the rules you are seeing right now, they were not in existence. And those were the situation. That was the situation until Mr. Speaker, the current speaker now, Honorable Engineer Victor Uche, took over the saddle of leadership as the Speaker of the House.
He brought in the feasibility study of what he intends to do. He brought a framework and brought the pictures of what he intends to do. Most of us were asking, where will you source the fund? Where will you get the money? But all that is history.
I think this is my 10th year in the House of Assembly. I'm serving my third tenure. And if I'm not mistaken, over 5 speakers have passed through me. And I can tell you straight on that what I'm experiencing now is phenomenal compared to what it used to be. And it might be interesting to note too that the subvention as it's here, because as chairman, Public Accounts Committee of the House, I'm privileged to know that the subvention that comes to the House as it were remains the same. And what we expect, the developmental projects and the quality of job being done in the House of Assembly today, it is wonderful. Nobody knew that we can achieve this feat before now. That is, before the emergence of Right Honorable Victor Uche.
Initially, when I came to the House of Assembly, the first 2, 3, 4, 5 months, you can't really want to sit in this place. Because of you get uncomfortable. You know, the working environment wasn't anything to write home about. Besides that, we have so many people who have no business being in the House of Assembly, just trooping in to make all manners of harassment. And harassment in terms of requests, so those ones kinds of distress us terribly. So most times we would take our work home to do, you know. But gradually he has been able to put all that in check. So we can now see. I just came early this morning to start doing some work before we sit. But before, in times past, what we do is just come straight to go to the chambers and sit and go away and take work home because there was no order.
When I came on board as Speaker in June 2011, on the 7th precisely, one of the cardinal things I said that should be my focus will be to restore the dignity of the legislature. And so in doing that, you need to put in place the basic infrastructure for that to succeed. The basic infrastructure, you may ask, but you have a chambers and you have a lot of that. Yes, they were there, but they were not up to speed with the present day realities. And as you know, life in itself is dynamic. Also, every other thing that we go with in life is dynamic, and we needed to come up to speed with present day realities, and that informed my bringing about the kind of changes that I thought I needed to bring about. Secondly, I sincerely and strongly of the opinion that your workplace, your work environment greatly affects your output. And if you have a good work environment, it will enhance your output, whether you believe it or not. You spend more time in the office, and the longer you spend in the office, the fact remains that you'll be putting more to your work, and at the end of the day, it's better output.
I think he was a very clever person, because he didn't just start. What he started by, first of all, when at the beginning of every session, every member, including that Mr. Speaker, of course, funds are availed to members for them to do renovation of their offices, to furnish the offices and all that. So he started with his own office and that of the Deputy Speaker. And I can tell you, by the time he finished, when we went into his office, everybody, we couldn't recognize whether we were still in the same premises. So that actually triggered a lot of excitement among members. And he now came up with the idea that actually he would want that the entire work environment, the offices of even members and all that. He didn't just stop in his office, if I may remember. He went ahead to do some minor touch on the offices of members by changing the doors and all that. So everybody said, this would be nice if proper this thing. So he now suggested that we could achieve all this if we can agree to say, okay, let us be able to get people who will be able to work so that we can be able to achieve results. And because of what he has done in his office, everybody said, no, we will want our premises to be like this, our offices to look like this, and even the entire complex. So he came up with the suggestion that, okay, he wants to do this, and he actually came with the visual, that is the 3D drawings of what he would want the complex to. And of course, when everybody saw it, not even the worst critic will say no. After he was done with that, he first of all started with the offices, his office, like I said, went to members' office, then of course went to change the entire look of the complex. Then he now came, before we came back from one long break or so, we now saw that all the roads were being paved and the entire environment is being tied the way it is at the moment. Then he went further now to do the proper lighting of the entire complex, of course, which is what you are witnessing at the moment, and the beautification that you are seeing around. So we thought that he was actually done with that. Everybody was excited. Oh, now we now have a new complex and all that. Then one bright summer morning, he just came up to the caucus and said he will want that our chambers will be transformed, so everybody was just wondering, because we already, at least we thought we were having the best of chambers as it were then. Then he now came with another 3D drawings and all that. Wow, so he came with two options. This time around now, we are not talking about to say whether the project will be done. So we were now, left with the option of which of these options we are going to take. And eventually everybody opted for this option now, this design that you are seeing around now. So he said, okay, because of the time the project is going, the turnaround is going to take, it has to be carried out when the house probably will be on break to allow the people that are going to do it to. So behold, before we came back from training in America, the whole place, I am sure that if not that it's our complex, if you are taken there to say, come and sit, you will say, no, it's not, this is not my house for assembly where I had left barely some few months to go for a training. And you know that he has brought a new innovation into the entire chambers. It's not just the normal chambers where you will now have a recess room where you can recess to for maybe a very short relaxation, where you can have some refreshment and all that. So all that too, of course, I'm sure that when the governor visited, he was so amazed, and he was not in a hurry to leave the place. And we were all happy. I think he has done so well.
When he brought up the proposal, when we looked at whatever he was trying to put on paper, me as Honorable Mrakbo, he didn't just, okay, Speaker, you want to do something, fine. He didn't quite mean a thing to me. But when we came back from America, I wasn't too sure we were still not in San Francisco. Because what we saw over this trip to America, maybe with every sense of modesty, okay, I want to liken it to what we saw. But I want to say emphatically that what we have here is better than the upper chambers of the American Senate.
The chamber is better than what you see in the House of Lords in London. It's better than what you see in America. It's a new innovation, a new invention. And in fact, from what we have seen in the chamber, any aspirant intending to come to the House is going to face the Herculean task, because the chamber is like Buckingham Palace.
We had staff apathy, we had people who were disenchanted, they didn't bother coming to work, and well, they were staff and they get paid at the end of the month. And you know, even members, if their offices are not conducive, they're not going to sit down there to even see their constituents. And of course, there was this unprotected gates that were open and anybody could just walk in at any time without being checked. But of course, a lot has also changed within the period. The series of, you had bombings there and there. You can never know where it can come from. So the best was to also learn to prevent such things. The first thing I did when I took over was to inspect all the facilities. We looked at it and started work at it. And thank God for the governor who gave us the free hand to do that.
There is nothing more to say about it. The place is transformed. That is a fact that is confirmed. The transformation is good. It's also indisputable. And the transformation is also qualitative. That is also an axiom. And the transformation is from a mind and a heart that knows quality. That too one can't dispute.
It wasn't so difficult because we are all matured men, exposed. And he has, personally, he has a high taste of integrity. And his quality too spelled him out. His ability to bring those things afore, to the members to appreciate. And everybody likes good things. And he has been able to, be very transparent in his dealings and expose whatever intention he has, sell it out to the members to really analyze, and we come up with a uniform agreement on way to follow.
We are progressives, and the key thing is that you have to operate it and open the policy. So that is the mark of difference between what we are having now and what we experienced before. And that also accounts for the fact that the man has been there for over 2 years, which is also an history in the history of the Delta State Assembly. We've never had it so smooth. We've never had a speaker presiding for over 2 years without any hiccup. So I give it to him that his policy, he operates and opens the policy.
I want to say without mixing words that before his tenure began, we were more like we could do anything we liked. We could maybe stroll into the chambers when we liked. We could probably come to work when we liked. But all that, it's gone now. What you have is, you have the speaker seated before you arrive. So you will not have any choice other than to also follow suit and obey. I think he's a leader that leads by example.
This is my first time here, but I've had people said it, I've looked through the record. There is no day we've not formed a quorum in the house, because you look forward to coming to the house. You know, in former assemblies, you barely see members coming to sit. But in this assembly, you see members even coming in days where we were not sitting, thinking that it was supposed to be a sitting day. That's to tell you the zeal to work. And one of the reasons is the good work environment. Laws that will take other assemblies 2 years to pass, we pass them in 2 months. We are all happy to work. And the effect on the environment on this cannot be overemphasized. You see, the place is radiating. It's neat.
The work is now stress-free. You browse into the internet. You browse into the Constitution. The order of the day is already tuned into the system. So it makes you searches for dictionary, searches for Constitution, searching for rules of the house, searching for orders of the day are all already in the computer. So honestly speaking, it makes work easier. A reference is easier, dictionary is easier, grammar is easier, languages are well brought out. That chamber is now based on what we call effective syllogism.
It has really increased my rate of performance. You see, when you have a conducive atmosphere to work, to learn, your rate of assimilation gets faster, and the output of your job, the quality, keep on increasing by the day.
Without fear of being contradicted, it has impacted positively on all of us, including myself, because I sit in the office comfortably, and you're enthused that you want to go to work because your workplace is conducive. More so, even your dress sense changes, because if you come into a place that looks like a palace and you look dressed like a tout. They don't complement each other. So even the staff are affected. They dress differently. There's an upskill, personal upskill. Is not forced on you. It just comes on naturally because the place is different. It's just like someone who travels outside the country when it's winter. You need nobody to tell you that you need to wear warm clothing. It's the same thing that you're having here in the House of Assembly, where the infrastructure has changed, looking better and well upgraded and, top of the line. You need to also upgrade.
With a place like that, working is interesting. Working is interesting because the atmosphere is interesting. There's dignity to what we're doing. It's like, okay, I am an honorable member and my environment says so. And that is one thing that has become so influencing on our person and on our output.
The year of change of leadership every 3 months, 6 months, people dragging shares and all that. We see them on televisions and all that. Bad blood between leaders and the led. But since coming on board, since we came on board, this is my first experience, and we had this speaker. There has been no need. In fact, it's unthinkable. You don't change a winning team. The man is winning. The man is carrying everybody along. And the man is doing so well. We feel so proud to have him as our speaker.
He's a young man who has done well, like any of us. He's a young man who has vision. And what I make of him, God will give him the large heart to continue in that endeavor.
We've never had it this good in the history of the Delta State House of Assembly. We are impacted positively to Deltas.
That is the story of the transformation that you are witnessing. And it's not just ending. You see that we were having accommodation issues, particularly the state of the chambers now, if I may go back to the chambers. The chamber was supposed to be a very sacred place, hallowed chambers at it were. But because we were having difficulties, accommodation problem, both for the staff and both for committees operations. So he came up with the idea to be able to get the approval of His Excellency to equally put up a new structure entirely, which is going to be the administrative building. That is the one that is, and the edifice is fantastic because it's full, state-of-the-art complex building with lifts, modern gadgets and all that. So members are saying no, they will move from their offices to the, and the staffs already, they are telling me, in fact, they are already thanking us for bringing, light to their working environment. They are so expectant in moving into the new building.
The young man has done marvelously well. That even some of the past speakers that are still in the house, they openly confess that what they are experiencing, they were unable to do in their tenure.
I was there as a speaker. To be honest with you, I didn't have that project in mind, nor the vision. I was asking him, why was it that while we were there, you didn't initiate these fundamental changes that we're seeing? And I must be honest with you, he has done quite eminently well in terms of transformation.
By and large, I believe that everybody who was voted to the Fifth Assembly came with a consciousness. One, very first, is to serve his constituents or her constituents to ensure that they get the benefit of representation. And we may not have met everything they want, but then in life you can't say you can do everything. You can't please everybody. So my only plea will be, well, where we have our shortcomings, they should bear with us and will forgive us where outrightly we have failed. But by and large, the only reason why we're here is to serve our people. And the Fifth Assembly, in my opinion, we've done our best, and I give kudos to my colleagues. Their cooperation, their understanding, their patience is something you cannot wish away.